Hello, everybody. My name is Pablo Veramendi. I am a director of the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program, and we're thrilled to be here together today to host a panel on how our student ambassadors are empowering others using tech for good. Of course, the humans of IT are all about empowering technologists to achieve more by humanizing tech, and really there's nothing better to exemplify that than what these students are doing in their communities. What are the student ambassadors, you might ask? Well, they are our group of students across the globe in 99 different countries that are essentially building community around their passion for technology. They're helping their fellow students build their coding skills online with Microsoft Learn. They're organizing virtual hackathons to solve real-world challenges. They're earning certifications or building digital communities. It's really up to them, and we're really thrilled to have the following ambassadors with us today. So with that, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. So I will start with Simran. Simran, can you let us know about yourself, where you're from, and how long you've been an ambassador?
Hi everyone, I'm Simran Makhiza. I'm a third year computer science and engineering student from Indore, India. I've been a student ambassador for almost a year and a half since September 2019, and it's been one of the best things that's happened to me in university.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. How about you, Navika?
Hello, everybody. I am Navika, and I'm currently pursuing my third year in BTech IT from BBCU in New Delhi, India. And I have been student ambassador for more than 1.5 years. And I'm really very passionate about tech for good. So I'm so excited to be here and meet you all.
Thank you. Fenty?
Hello, everyone. My name is Pansip Kokilanon, Go Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, Microsoft Certified Trainer, and former Microsoft internship from Thailand. I have been a student ambassador for 4+ years.
That's awesome. Thank you for being with us. And last but not least, Anthony.
Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Diaz. I am from Colombia, but I live in Canada. I am studying mathematics and computer science, and I have the pleasure to be part of the community for the last 3 years.
Awesome. Well, we're thrilled to have you all. Thank you for joining us. As part of the session, I kind of wanted to start off with asking each of you to tell us how you've empowered your community using technology for good. We'd love to hear your story and how you're humanizing tech using tech for good. So we'll start again with you, Simran.
So tech for good is both using tech for good and innovating with tech for good. So if I had to go with one story, I'd go with my Imagine Cup story. Me and my team created a solution that helps everybody learn to code, whether they have a computer or not. So that has been my major recent contribution to tech for good. We participated in the Imagine Cup India Championships and won in the education theme. And we also, it was also a selected activity by code.org in Hour of Code 2020, through which we impacted over 250 learners that did not have access to computers. So yeah, my team was a team of student ambassadors. So that's been my most recent contribution, and that's the story of it.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your solution does?
Our solution helps you take a picture of your code that you've written on pen and paper, and you can extract code from that and make small edits in your browser and then run it in your browser real time so that you do not need to download any application, mobile compatibilities. You do not need a laptop for doing so. It helps everyone learn to code. So that's what the solution does.
Many of us are privileged to have access to computers, as kids growing up. How is this like? What is the importance of this for communities that maybe don't have that kind of access?
So I personally did not have that kind of access up until very late in my high school, and then I didn't have time to pursue computer science education due to the highly competitive environment in our country. A lot of us don't get that kind of access in school, or there are, at least I come from a privileged enough background to get it later in high school. A lot of students that I've worked with when I volunteered in education for the underprivileged do not have access to computers at all until they've graduated school and don't know how computers work, how coding works. And we all know in today's time and day, learning to code has become essential for everybody. So for those people, because everybody, even in the very much lower down the food chain, if we could say that, almost everybody now has a smartphone. Smartphones have become highly affordable in a lot of developing countries. So making coding education accessible through smartphones was our way of making sure that everybody has the access to learn to code.
That's amazing. And so if I understand this, students across the globe in India and other countries, they're actually learning to code with pen and paper, right? They're writing the code down in pen and paper. And this solution that you've developed, you take a picture of that code and it brings it into your browser and brings it into Visual Studio Code, right? So they can immediately translate what they've written into with their phone into actual code in a browser.
There is an in-browser editor. It isn't Visual Studio Code quite much yet, but yeah, that's what it does, because a lot of us, even in university, are learning to code on pen and paper on a regular basis. So this helps us bring it to practical application. That's what it does. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Simran, for sharing that story, and wish you the best bringing that forward. And congrats on your win in the Imagine Cup in India. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
No problem. All right, Navika, over to you. Can you tell us how you've empowered your community using Tech for Good?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for the question. First of all, I would like to tell that I'm a strong advocate of women's rights and right of a person with disabilities, which has been addressed as one of the core issues and on which many international conventions have been made, such as Commission on the Status of Women and Convention on the Right of a Person with Disabilities have been formed and focusing upon. My major focus is to empower the vulnerable section of the society who I feel are equally capable like us, but it is just that they don't get the right opportunity and they're waiting for the right opportunity, motivation, guidance to come their way. So keeping this in my mind, I'll just share one quick story with you. I reached out to the visually impaired student of the Blind Relief Association in New Delhi, India, and it was a bit challenging for me because, you know, they were on their first of all, they're aware of their Braille language and they were on the JAWS software. And that was something, of course, which I wasn't familiar with. But then I was teaching them in the ordinary way, virtual way. But I had the dedication with me. I had to empower them come what may. So finally we were in sync and I did a 15-day session with them wherein I empowered them with the Microsoft Office 365 tools and the Microsoft Seeing AI app. So that is something which one of the event, which is a project which is very close to my heart. And I also feel that in this ID sector, you know, gender gap ratio is one of the major issues. So through the help of the Student Ambassadors Program, I started conducting events in order to improve the participation of girls in the STEM field and to update them with the latest tech tools, which might not be available to them, maybe because of affordability or accessibility issues. So one of my upcoming project is, which is coming real soon, I'm just working on it, where I'll be reaching out to the girls of the marginalized and remote areas, you know, where like there's kind of almost no existence of tech. So I'm going to reach out to them and yes, we'll be updating them with the latest tech tools.
That's amazing. That's such incredibly important work. We want our technology to be available to everybody, right? So that's fantastic. What is the type of reactions that you get from these people that you're working with when you show them that, you know, the technology is accessible to them, that they are able to do so many things with the technology?
Yes, actually, this is a very, very interesting question, which I would like to answer. You know, I would just like to tell, like, the visually impaired students, so most of us don't reach to them because we think it's going to be very tough for us to teach them, or maybe they don't have that much of IQ level. But I must tell, they are much, much more intelligent than us, and their IQ level is really very high. Their pick is super good. And the most important part, they're actually waiting for us to reach out to them, and they're willing to learn whatever, you know, whatever comes their way. So they're so willing to learn. That is the best part.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Navika, for everything you do for your community and for those that don't have access, and making, you know, letting them be aware that there's so much that they can do regardless of, you know, where they are and in the community. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
All right, Fanteep, over to you. How have you empowered your community using Tech for Good?
Yeah, I am using technology as a tool to do the first for myself, to pursue my passion. My passion are sharing and helping. I like myself when I can learn and help others be better. So I spend my night before sleeping, publish online content and write tutorial to share and help Thai people understand how technology allows them to build powerful solutions, solve their problem, and achieve more on the Facebook page. And for community, I have made a contribution to the student community in Thailand for 5 years. Uh, for example, I am an educational writer and community manager of Camp Hub. I promote camp news and publish educational articles on the biggest Thai camper community site to spark Thai students toward self-discovery. And I was the camp president of the Young Webmaster Camp in 2017. I collaborate with Thai Webmaster Association and 80 students from different university to run the web development camp in Thailand, so they can learn about the web designer, web content, web marketing, and web developing. And since 2019, I am the co-founder and community manager of Spark Tech Thailand, the community of students with an interest in technology, with 6,000 members in Facebook group and 4,000 people registered to attend an event and meet up in 2 years. Yeah.
That's fantastic work. Thank you, Fantip. Can you tell me a little bit more about the importance of making the technology, whether it's a tutorial, whatever, available in your native language in Thailand for the people in Thailand?
Yeah, because in Thailand we use Thai language, so some students and most of people might have the barrier for the English language. They can understand in English very well, and for me and my friend, I try to build the native content in Thai language so they can learn more about how to use technology, how to use the technology to solve their problem and to be better for their business and for their community. So
Awesome.
it's important to use the local language in Thailand. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And just a message to all of you out there, when you're building content, like build it in your native language if you can and make that available. Do it in both, and make sure it's accessible to more people by having it available in multiple languages. That's awesome. Thank you, Fantip. Anthony, how about you? How are you empowering your community?
Well, for me, there are three important pillars: the learning part, the sharing part, and the making. For the learning and sharing, since the beginning of my journey in the Microsoft Student Ambassador community, my aim has been to connect with my roots in Latin America and North America as one continent. And I am very grateful to see how we have been collaborating and sharing knowledge between us to improve ourselves, because if one of us is going great, everyone is going great. So last year, during the pandemic, we organized an event with people, with ambassadors from more than 9 countries, and we were able to assemble more than 2,000 people to learn new things, new programs, how to use technology to solve problems in the region. And now in the making, thanks for the advice that people in the community have given me and the work that we have been doing collaborating. I made two projects that help my community in Colombia, my grandparents, by creating a system where they have a grocery store, by possessing a system where they can connect with their neighbors without the needing or going out. And like that, it helped them to continue to sell during the lockdown. And in the other part, here in Quebec, we built a system by using the power of data to know what is the estimated time to go to a screening center for COVID, so people don't need to wait outside during winter time.
That's awesome. Thank you, Anthony. And it's so important. It's amazing to see what all you students are doing during this time, right? You're not just sitting down and just like, oh, we're locked down, there's nothing to do. Like, you're taking action, you're wanting to make an impact and have a difference in your communities. And I can't imagine, like, for Navika, working with blind people remotely, right, during COVID. Like, it's got to be so challenging, but you rise to the challenge because you want to make that impact and make that difference. So Anthony, we're gonna come back to you again, and can you tell us about how you encourage others to share their passion for technology to have a positive impact?
In my case, the best way to encourage others to share their passion is by showing them that we are all part of the same community, and it's important to share knowledge. I start by sharing myself what I think it can be useful for them, and giving them the confidence to do the same. And that's why I am proud that the Microsoft community in Latin America has been very strong in the last 2 years, and we are going even stronger because we share the same passion with different interests, and that's what bonifies the conversation. That's what makes us to learn new things every day. And here in my home, how I start to do that, for example, it was with my little sister. Since she has 10 years old, I start to teaching her how to code in Python. And since 2 years ago, she started by her own to be part of the Technovation program, which is a coding program for girls. And that has been inspiring for me to see how a little action helped her to discover a new future using tech, and now she's teaching me new things. So that's interesting to see how we can connect and we can grow together.
Absolutely, that's fantastic, Anthony. Thank you. Did any of the other ambassadors want to comment on that? All right, so we'll move on to the next question. Navika, how have you had an impact on you? Have you specifically had an impact on your community?
Okay, so most of my events have been quite inspirational and motivational for all the attendees who have attended my session. That's the feedback which I've got from them. But like one of the recent event, I would like to tell the impact which I have done on the students. So basically, when I did this 15-day session with the visually impaired students, so I actually, of course, it was challenging and all, and then but I saw their enthusiasm and how much passionate they are about learning new things. So I shared this with the amazing Microsoft Student Ambassadors team, and as I always say, that they give wings to technical students. So I shared this with the MLSA team, and they have offered the MTC vouchers to these students. So they are kind of just finishing with their Azure fundamental learning part, and once they are done with it, so they can apply their MTC voucher and go in for the examination. So I feel, and they are super happy hearing this, and they're just in the process of completing the learning part. So this is the recent impact which I've made on my event.
So not only are you going out there and showing them what they can do with technology, you're empowering them to get certified and have that credential as part of their journey. That's amazing. Like, yeah, I really am inspired by these stories and how you are all making such a huge impact. They could get jobs because of this that they may not have had access to before, and that's just phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Any of the ambassadors want to comment on that? Go ahead, Simran.
Yeah, so as Navika said, working for the community does not have to be, but what she's doing is absolutely commendable. She's working for the visually impaired, the people that need help. But in my case, what I feel is working for the community does not have to be really large steps. It could be the smallest of things, like letting people know the kind of opportunities they have on a local and a global level. That is the kind of impact that I aim to have, and that is the kind of work that I do. I lead a community of Girls Kripke Foundation in my city, and that majorly focuses on bringing marginalized groups in tech up and upskilling them and letting them know of the opportunities that they may have. So we conduct a number of workshops for them. So just what I want to say here, just to add into that, is even the smallest change, just telling people what they can do can make a ton of difference. For example, a story from a year ago when events were physical, we had the Global CFP Day local event in our city, and we had a total of 7 people show up for the event. But all those people were there, it was their first community event, and all of them learned what conferences are, how to apply for conferences, and have gone ahead and submitted CFPs very recently. So seeing that kind of impact, even on a small number of people, is always very encouraging.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always about taking that first step, right? And encouraging them to do it, and encouraging them to understand what that step is, and how much their lives could change by taking that little step. So that's fantastic. Thank you. All right. So over to Fanteep. How do you plan to continue your Tech for Good in your professional career after you graduate?
Honestly, I have no plan. I am working on it, but the things I know from the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program is I like to share what I have learned. I like to meet people in the community, and I like to creating content. So what I plan to do next is to continue to build a learning community with my friend as a hobby and help Thai people and business success and achieve more while finding my dream job. Then, when and if there are opportunities related to the community things arrive, I will apply for it because for now, that's my dream job where I can continue with Tech for Good.
Awesome, thank you. Any other ambassadors have comments on how they want to continue Tech for Good once they join the workforce?
Yeah, I would like to kind of add in something to it. Like, it's been I started community service at the age of 14 when I was in my school. So, and working for the community is my passion, and passion is something which obviously no one leaves. So whatever my career is going to be, of course it's going to be in the technical field. So this will always go alongside, and I will always practice Tech for Good, and that is something which I will never ever give up, because I've been sustaining that since 7 years now.
That's amazing. And I love hearing the passion from all of you, and hearing how you want to continue that on as you enter the professional world. That's awesome. Anthony, you had a comment?
Yes, I recently joined a new company in cybersecurity, and I will say that there is always a way to contribute in your team. Even if it's only a month that I have been there, they have given me the opportunity to share new ideas, and I have been proposing events to launch and learn, to keep growing, to keep learning every day. And with the Microsoft community, with the student community, we keep in touch, and we keep doing events, because the important is to never stop learning.
Absolutely, totally agree there. And I would say too, like, there's always an opportunity, I think, in every company to do Tech for Good, whether it's with the company itself and your peers, or even outside volunteering and representing the company. Like, I just encourage you all as students not to ever stop that, especially when you come to the workforce. And I have the honor and privilege of being able to lead the student ambassador program, which makes me feel like I have a platform for Tech for Good to kind of bring it to you all right across the globe. And it's just amazing to work for a company that allows me to do that, and in turn allows you all to be that force amplifier across the globe. So that's fantastic. All right, and final question for me, at least, before we get to the Q&A from the chat. Simran, how has the Student Ambassador Program empowered you to achieve your goals?
Student Ambassador Program has helped me achieve my goals in ways that I could not imagine, honestly, even a year ago. At my university, because of the segregation of people in our country, I always felt like I didn't belong in the group that I was in, and the Student Ambassador Program gave me a place where I belonged, with like-minded people, with people that wanted to use Tech for Good, wanted to upskill, and wanted to work at a very fast pace, the pace at which the industry works. So I feel like in the tech industry, the Student Ambassador program has been like a home to me, and it has given me an access to like-minded folks, to work with like-minded folks on events. My Imagine Cup team was a team that I met through the Student Ambassador program, and it's been a great experience so far. Speaking of the platform, as you said, that you provide all student ambassadors to promote tech for good or to promote student communities and to do amazing work. Having that kind of platform to express myself and to be able to learn more, to achieve more, has been a true blessing. So that's about it from me.
It's a blessing for us to have all of you as part of this program and to have you bring your passion every day, both to the program, the ambassadors program and community, as well as to your own communities. And it's really inspiring to us all. So thank you for that. And we do have a couple questions and I think it kind of goes along with what you were just talking about from the audience. So what does it take to be a student ambassador? Like, what would you recommend that a student who's interested in the program do to become a student ambassador? And we can start with Navika on that one if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, Microsoft Student Ambassadors is a beautiful community, rather I could say. It's like a big whole family where we have people from all over the world, all over the globe, and we get to connect with them. And so if you even have a little bit of passion about inside yourself to connect with people, to learn new things, I think this is the best place for you. Even I joined Student Ambassadors community when I was in my first year. I didn't know that much about communities and all tech communities, especially. When I joined here, I found my like-minded people who resonate the same thought as mine, and it gives you plethora of opportunities. You have leagues, you have cloud advocate calls, you have mentorship programs, you have pilot programs, you have learning paths, you have so many other things. I hope I'm not missing out on anything. So it keeps you on your toes always. And from my experience, in a nutshell, I can say it has empowered me in every sphere. And today what I am, I could actually give almost all the credit to this program.
Thank you for that. If you had one piece of advice to give them for their application, Navika, what would it be? Like, what should they share in their application when they apply? So the program, let me just step back for a second. The program applications are open year round. You do have to apply. You go to studentambassadors.microsoft.com. The post is here in the chat. And we accept new ambassadors quarterly. So what advice, I'd like to ask each of you this, so I'll again start with Navika here, but what's the one piece of advice you would give somebody who's interested in applying to the program for their application?
From my experience, the one piece of advice which I would like to give is just when you fill in the application, when you make your video, just be very real and just tell about your passion, what you're passionate about, what are you actually looking in for, and what you've been contributing in the past. So I think that is something which will really kind of help you out. Yeah.
Great advice. How about you, Fantip? What advice would you give a student who wants to apply to the program?
Yeah. Just come as you are, be yourself, and to show your passion, how you want to use tech for good, why you want to build a community and help others learn and share. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And that's the rest, but we have another great question that I want to make sure we get to. So what have been your key learnings from the pandemic, specifically the way you ambassadors organize events and interact with people? And Simran, can we start with you on that one?
Yeah, so with the pandemic, organizing events initially was a challenge, but everything has a flip side. There's a pro to every con. Since events went virtual, they also went global. Our reach maximized as much as we could. We were collaborating across borders, across continents, and it has been one of the best experiences. In terms of maintaining interactivity during our events, we've got to get a little more creative with that, since we can't really just go, how's everybody feeling today, and expect people to have an answer that way. So we have started to have everybody answer in the chat, have questions, have fun activities, icebreakers at the start of every event. So I think we've evolved with time, and we've learned how to adapt and make them as interactive as we can.
You can't just say, how's the Josh at the top of a meeting?
I'm surprised you remember that. Yeah, we
Of
can't say
course, of
how's the
course.
Josh anymore. Oh, we can just ask them to say the Josh is high in the chat. Yeah.
There you go. What about you, Anthony? How has it the pandemic changed the way you do things in the program?
Well, the pandemic gives me the moment to connect more with people from different countries and to show me that there is no limit. Now you can connect with people from all around the world and you can collaborate with them because there is no space limitation that you have. So that was a great takeaway.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. That's all the time we have for questions. Really appreciate each and everything that you are individually doing for your communities for the program. Sharing my screen here with the link to studentambassadors.microsoft.com. If you or any students that you know, if you are not a student and you know students that are interested and passionate about technology that want to be part of this global community, please have them apply today at studentambassadors.microsoft.com. Thank you all. Thank you to the Humans of IT folks for giving us this opportunity to speak, and have a great Ignite.